Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin here on the daily time frame, finally, something new to say, something new to talk about. Bitcoin has already hit that, you could say, buy signal. It's flashed that buy signal that I talked about in yesterday's video, which is an oversold RSI. It's now already back above 80, not 80, 30. It was below 30, which is that buy signal earlier today. Now, technically, it's not yet flagged because we haven't had a daily RSI close around that level. That is really only when that signal becomes valid. But still, we were in that oversold region. So typically this is when the price is starting to react. Doesn't always have to react there. Maybe that signal fails at some point. I'm not naive. At some point this signal will not work anymore. But over the last few years, it has been very, very reliable. And this is what has flagged earlier today. Again, the daily candle not closed. So strictly speaking, we haven't had an oversold RSI reading on the daily yet. Only intraday. But we need a closed candle for a valid signal, yeah? So we'll see where the daily RSI stands at the end of the day. But still, I already bought a small position earlier today. Communicated that on Discord. If you don't know what I'm talking about with RSI, why is daily RSI oversold a buy signal, check out my video from a few days ago only on the MCO Global channel, which is our main channel. This video was called a buy signal that never fails, question mark, because it doesn't, of course it does fail at some point, sometimes, but very, very rarely. Very rarely. So you could say it nearly always works. I link that video for you here in the, you should see it on the screen if you wanna check it out, because I've said yesterday the daily RSI below 30 is an interesting signal, and people have sent me messages, asked me why. So this is what I've discussed before, but also made a video specifically on that, about that indicator on our main channel. So that is the situation on the daily. We have still a lot of room, plenty of room. So I remember back in November, I have sold a BTC position, several BTC positions that I bought in the bull market. Yeah. So I I sold here somewhere. That was around 88K. I remember that. The difference is, why do I buy back now, you might ask? Well, first of all, I buy back smaller. Okay, so that's one thing, I buy back smaller. But also the RSI is completely different. I mean, the RSI back then was overbought. Now we're oversold. So that's the difference. So much better, you could say, much lower risk entry, because even if we drop down to maybe 82K in the coming days, which is definitely possible, even 75, there should be a bounce at some point, even if it's a healthy bounce. So possible to move up the stop loss, that's it. But yeah, I actually expect it to go down a little bit lower, okay? But we'll see. So situation still the same. We are still in a possible alarm clock. We're still in a possible wave 4. And this hasn't changed. Yesterday I talked about a potential triangle. Well, needless to say, I've removed that from the chart. But as I mentioned yesterday, this was not yet a likely scenario. We needed further evidence, and it was only me thinking out loud. So let's go back to the short, not back to, but let's go to the shorter time frame. Here, as you can see, the price already reached the blue target zone for the white scenario. In the last few days, we already saw breaks of supports, and this is the first time now that actually a setup is playing out. Because in the range we had a lot of fake outs, right? You will remember that. I mentioned many times that we can't really trust any microstructure as long as we are in this sideways range. Well, now we have finally a decision by the market, but that doesn't mean we have to fill in this wave count completely. Rather, I'm using the wave count to understand where the price might likely go to. Then it will give us resistance levels. The nearest resistance is currently at 93,047. I would say we will need initial resistance and upper resistance, because what happens if circle 3 already finishes in this region? Then upper resistance would be this one, Just depends on which wave count is actually playing out. We have different levels to watch. So essentially, it just means that if we break above initial resistance, we have an upper resistance area to watch. Yeah. So the idea is we're moving down here more directly. The 100% extension, I mean, this is typically a key support level. Yeah. That's typically a key support level. I mean, whenever you see the 100% extension, I mean, this is nearly as good as the daily RSI. Even there's typically some kind of a bounce at the 100% extension. So we've seen that. We have the wave 4 now. I assume this is only an internal wave 4. It might already be circle 4. It might already be circle 4. So because of the RSI reading being pretty much oversold on the daily, I think we're getting there. We're getting close. At the moment, I don't assume we've bottomed yet, even though we've reached 100% extension. Ideally, sort of 83 to 85K with one more low or two more lows. That's my view. Now, any break, as I said, above initial resistance at 93,047 would already increase the likelihood that a low has formed in all of wave 4. But I would still watch this upper resistance. Oh, sorry, I need to change this, actually. I just noticed that. So, let's call it upper resistance. But we still need a full 5-wave move up above upper resistance to suggest that a substantial low has formed. Okay. So this would be wave 4 resistance. So they're both relevant. It's just that we've seen it before that the last low, for example, didn't happen, and a different wave count would be, what if all of this is wave 1, not AB, but all of this is wave 1, then maybe, oh yeah, no, I could even say, okay, no, it could be, yeah, all of this 1, 2, okay, it wouldn't really change much, to be honest. So yeah, I think this wave count is okay. All right, no, a different count would be, what if this is AB actually? AB, A, B, right? And this is C, so it's like 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. Then all of this could be 3, absolutely, yeah. Then this could be 4, and this is 5. So we might not see that one more low here in wave. Let me just move that. We might not see 2 more lows. We just might see essentially 1 more low. And in terms of, this needs to be here. And in terms of support, what are the next levels? Yeah, 84,764, 83K, 79.9. Does it mean it has to stop there? No. I mean, this is where it would be, yeah, I mean, in this wave count, I don't really want it to go below 79K. But as I showed you on the daily time frame, technically speaking, and this is what really matters for this larger wave 4, support is at 75,340 and even 69K, but this is too far. Really, this is actually too deep. So I would argue that already below 75K, we probably have the first signal that a more substantial top has formed. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. Looking at the RSI, I mean, we might see a larger bounce before. And then this will tell us if it's like the wave 5 up or not. For now, this does look somewhat unfinished to the downside, so we might see those further downside squiggles that I mentioned. So this is the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on the MCO Global main channel. By the way, yesterday I also made a video about global liquidity and how it could lead to a reversal on the Bitcoin chart to the upside, not on the micro level. There's more a macro perspective, and there's also kind of a timeline when that could happen. So if that interests you, it is so far the most popular video on this channel, so check it out. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.